empaths and all the real ones, you may be hit with extreme amounts of loneliness after a relationship ends with a narcissist. Extreme amounts of loneliness. And I want you to embrace that the narcissist does also go through their own version of loneliness after the relationship ends, after the discard. They actually, to be quite honest, in reality, even throughout the relationship with you, they always felt lonely. All right, and it's because it's based upon the fact that they build inauthentic connections from their side anyway. All right, you was building on an authentic connection, a real connection, but on their side of things, it's inauthentic. All right, and when they're doing that, they don't get to embrace what it means to actually have real company or real, connection with someone. And this is not just romantic relationships, this can be friends, family, whatever. They don't know, they don't ever get to that level. You've got to understand that with the narcissist, they never feel that real connection. They're so distant from themselves, their true self. That's a very lonely, wounded, corrupted soul, that they're very distant from. So they've always, being around you and being around the way you moved and operated, that did make them feel lonely when you was with them, and you could have devoted all your time and attention, everything like that. This is why they demanded more. Please press the like, share, and subscribe if you can. Please like, share, and subscribe. Sorry. So they would demand more attention from you to fill this void, which puts strain on relationships when they're demanding this much attention, when they're demanding this much time of yours. And even then, when you're giving them your time and you're giving them your company and things like that, your support, they're still not satisfied. Then they're bickering. Then they're looking for negative supply, winding you up, bullying you, these sorts of things, right? So what I'm saying is when the narcissist goes, it's very vengeful. When the narcissist discards you, it's very vengeful. They want to inflict the way they feel in everyday life. But the fact of the matter is, they're never going to shake this. It's always going to be with them. It just always is. Because they build inauthentic connections with their minions, their flying monkeys, their new supplies, everyone they're around, they're building inauthentic connections with. All right, and they don't get to have a real look. You may have had a real connection with your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your nana, your granddad. What I'm saying is, it don't necessarily have to be romantic relationships. If you've had an authentic connection, they don't have those. Not with their own family, not with their colleagues, not with no one. They've never had an authentic connection with anyone. Okay? Not to the extent that you have. All right? A lot of grandparents see themselves in there's something about you take after your grandparents or something, and a lot of grandparents can see maybe your grandparents were empathetic, or I don't know what your family situation was, or even the people that were caring for you were empathetic. Like, they may have seen this in you. They might not have put the finger on it or used the terminology like we're using now, but this is the thing. The narcissist has never had an authentic connection with anyone because they were a phony with their own family. They're a phony with their friends, and like, they're phony with people who are good to them. They're inauthentic with people who are good to them. They've had other good people in their life, all right? Like, people that treated them well, and they abuse them and take advantage of them, all right? Like, they do that because they don't. This is what I mean. It's a catch-22. They do that because they can't feel the connection that you feel, right? Not the same. Everything. This is why you often hear about the spectrum, but it's on another side. They go through their own process of everything. So when the narcissist is surrounded by company after they discard you and they're posting these pictures, they still feel very much alone. And that's when they learn they had a fondness for you. And this is what happens to many people who are discarded. They feel like they have a fondness for you. They feel alone in a room full of people. Now, look what the narcissistic abusive relationship done to you. You can be in a room full of people, or at a restaurant eating with your family or whoever, and you can feel totally alone after you've gone through narcissistic abuse. So the way that it affects you, it also affects narcissists. You see, they're also gonna feel the effect of this. All right, this loneliness. All right, and you can feel alone inside a room full of people. They can feel alone inside a room full of people. In fact, they always feel alone inside a room full of people. All I'm saying is it intensifies after they lose you, after they lose the chosen one, the genuine soul, the empath, the real one. After they lose the authentic soul, they realize they have the fondness. They realize that you did regulate their emotions, that you did, because the authentic souls are givers, right? So you endlessly give to these people, even though they soak it up and it's like a bottomless pit. They do notice that afterwards. It's something that is very clear to them afterwards, that they do notice this. So no company they keep is gonna feel this loneliness. All right, they're not proud of themselves. I don't care what exterior a narcissist gives off to you, like they're full of themselves and all of that BS, right? All that stuff that they it's just, bravado. That's what it is. And really at the core of them, they're lonely, they're wounded. And I don't want you to have empathy for them, because what they do with that, they put you through like extreme discards, ghostings, all of these things. And it's because they project their own feelings onto you. But you have to understand that this is one thing that you was not able to, even though despite you having a potent supply and all of that, you're not able to combat the narcissist feeling this way ever, because they built an inauthentic connection with you. And if you build inauthentic connections with people, you're always gonna ruminate. You're gonna always be thinking if what you've said, you've lied. It's horrible to build an inauthentic connection with someone. And many of you might have actually made bad choices or something like that in your life, in your life, and you can feel like it's a horrible feeling to have an inauthentic connection. The narcissist isn't going to feel the same way as you do about the inauthentic connection, but it's still going to make them feel lonely nonetheless, because they're seeing with their eye, they're seeing with their vision people that are not like them. Okay, even if they have some minions and toxic individuals, like normally there's like a ranking, like a pecking order with narcissists, in narcissist family units and stuff like that, and they're subservient to other narcissists. But they do feel lonely, and no company they keep is going to fill this void. Not even you is able to fill this void. They are aware now, if you've got no contact and you're in no contact and you're sticking to no contact and you're going your own way, they will feel this void. They will feel this fondness. They will realize that you had a greater impression on them, that regulated their emotions a lot better than they are without you. Okay, and they felt a lot less lonely than they was, but it didn't really take it into full swing when you're in the relationship, right? And that's based down to the empath, the sleep empath, who endlessly gives to people who are not deserving. All right, like everyone's done, giving to people that are not deserving, giving to people that are not decent people. But you've changed now. You're changing, or you're evolving. You're not gonna do that no longer. So that narcissist has lost that version of you. So anyway, thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. I'm now available 24 hours across all time zones. You can also request custom videos. All video requests are processed in 24 hours. You're welcome to donate or support to the channel if you'd like to. My podcast is now on Spotify. Check out the spiritual channel for more content. All links you need are in the description box below, and I'll be back on a video soon. Peace.